Hello everyone, welcome to my channel where I talk about art, education, or any other topic that comes to mind as I showcase my artistic journey. Today's pilot episode is to introduce myself a bit and to talk about how I got my new walk in life as I survived the most interesting year of 2020. Now, I know that we all have our own kind of experiences to share with this, and I'm sure that I am not the first to do so. But I want to kind of focus in when we had that unexpected lockdown, because that made us pretty much come to terms pretty quickly with our own immediate family. Or in my case, with my own self and the pets that pretty much give me that cherished indifference experience that I so desperately need. Anyways, a lot of us pick up new hobbies as well because, well, there's really nothing else we can do. So I know some of us have pretty much went into baking. Some of us went into sewing. Some of us were selling photos to some site that sells fans of some sort. But anyways, for me, it was art. And the one thing that kind of makes this whole experience unique in my own way is because of the fact that it came at a very grim milestone of my life. And that milestone is actually separation. And what I've been told through therapy was that separation has its bouts of anger, loneliness, and sadness. And looking back at it, I can pretty much attest to that to be 100% true. And I can only just add to the fact of the fear that was going around at the time with a virus that we knew very little about, and the fear of spreading it to our loved ones. In my case, my parents, my grandparents, my aunts and uncles. So we had to kind of keep ourselves safe within our own homes. And that kind of held its own problems for me. Because of the fact that I was alone, there was no one really truly there that I could really express my thoughts in real time with. And there was very little things that were keeping me at bay with the recently diagnosed major depressive disorder that I'd had, and it's been keeping me in this fog of uncertainty for quite some time. What also didn't help was the fact that the walls of my house were holding ghosts of what was. Those ghosts were wedding photos, memories that seemed genuine at the time, and echoes of better times. The art in the kitchen were incomplete sets of couple-themed art nights. And I just knew something had to be done. I had to reclaim this home. And to be honest, I wasn't going anywhere. It just brings me back to a time where I had the happy accident of being in an art class when I was in middle school. And despite the little turds that probably drove my art teacher to drinking, which, to look back at it now, I can truly sympathize for that. I actually appreciated the care that she had for me and my crappy art. I know now, in hindsight, that I was her brush in proxy because I just simply did what I was told at the time. I was terrible at proportions, and it was probably the one thing that got me away from the scene in the first place. But a chance video on YouTube got me thinking, yes, I think I can do that. So before the lockdown poured into the stores, I went out and I purchased an acrylic pour kit and a roll of ball string from a hobby store which shall not be named at the moment. And that Saturday evening, I created these two little beauties here that now take up those wall hooks that held the paintings before. And ever since then began this crazy obsession that is my second life. And now, as I look around, there is not a single space on my wall that is not covered by art by now. I just ran out, actually. Besides, I couldn't just leave the paint that was left over after the first two things I made. They would have just taken up space inside the garage and dried up to nothing. And also, I just kind of kept thinking to myself, well, what if I wanted to use different colors other than the ones that they provided for me? I wanted to use this metallic green or this metallic purple. And Google search later, I learned about paint mediums and pouring mediums that were actually out there to help with this kind of endeavor. And I learned about how I could even make my own from different YouTube artists that are out there. And from them, I started learning about other ways in which I can be able to use this medium for. I learned about things like the flip cup, the blowout, a Dutch pour, dirty pour, a straight pour, a ring pour, a funnel pour, using silicone, to make cells, or even torching using a creme brulee torch that I was taking up space in my drawer. The world was just wide open at that point, and it's a world that I never thought I would see. And is a world that I needed in this time of uncertainty, pain, and heartbreak. If there's anything that this journey has taught me, it's taught me a few things. It just goes to show that things can be expressed in colors that we didn't expect to shine from ourselves. And a lot of times they come in patterns that we just never really have a lot of control over. And the results that come from it leaves room for interpretation. And it's because of that is where life is an abstract. In fact, it's aptly abstract. Thank you for watching this to the end. I hope to use this channel to express my thoughts as I showcase my work. In the future, I hope to bring occasional tutorials or an opportunity for me to just shut up and watch the satisfying process as I put my own music over the words. But until then, keep creative. I'll see you later.